Hello everybody, this is Vic, and usually you'll see me post some fun stuff as far as videos, but today we're gonna shift gears a little bit and talk something a little bit more useful and business related. Now, I struggled with this for a long time and I couldn't find any tutorials online, so hopefully this will help somebody out in the future if you're trying to create something that I've created here as well. So what I'm going to show you today is how to create a request for quote catalog on WordPress using Woocommerce and a couple of Woocommerce plugins. Okay, so the easiest way to show you this is we'll demonstrate what this looks like. So we're on my website here. I have a store which I call Popular Products. Now, as far as functionality goes, I want my clients to have a browse through our catalog and add any products that they want and then request a quote by email. So let's just say, for example, they're looking at some umbrellas. Okay, so we'll click on the umbrellas here. It's got some product details and everything like that. And let's say they want to order a yellow umbrella. They want it with a digital transfer, and let's say they want 50 of those. Okay, so they can add that to their quote basket. Okay, now when you go into my quote, or if they go browse the list, they can see what that is. Okay, the products that they've added. They can write their name, email, and send a note about what they want. And this will send me an email so I can review the details and send them a quote back. Okay, so I wanted to add this for my business to prevent a lot of the back and forth emails, how much for this, how much for that. And this way, the client can look at whatever it is that they want. Let's say they want another drink bottle. They want one in, again, yellow. And let's say they want laser engraving on that one. Say they want 100 of those. They can add that to their quote. Okay, and when they browse the list, everything shows up here. So it gives me an opportunity on my end to review everything and give them a quote on everything that they need. Okay, so the question is, how do we create functionality like that? So as I said, I am using WordPress, right? And I'm using, for my storefront, WooCommerce. Okay, so WooCommerce is a free plugin in itself. You can just download that, install that. Okay, the other one, I'll just go into my WordPress dashboard here and show you the plugins that I have. Okay, so we had WooCommerce, obviously, right? The other one that we have is YITH, YITH, Woocommerce Catalog mode. So it turns off all of the product prices, add to cart, all of that stuff. It's a free plugin, so you can download it, just activate it. And the other one is the WooCommerce Request a Quote from YITH as well. And this one, let's have a look. It's pretty easy to set up. There's not really a lot to set up, okay? So it links it to a page, the Request a Quote page. You can set it to another page if you want. When you first install it, it'll set everything up, okay, for you. Let's just have a look at that page just for reference. So I've made a few different changes, really. Let's see here. Okay, so this is the short code for the YITH plugin, this one here. And I've just added some text, right? So that, people don't get confused when they pop onto the page. Let's say if you go to my quote and say this one was empty. So if we remove this, it just says, to get a quote, you go to a Popular Products page and then just got some notes. Okay, so really, really simple stuff. All right, so we'll exit out of that. The other thing I wanted to show you was just the theme that I used. We're going to be doing a little bit of cleanup for our storefront to hide, pricing and all that stuff, to hide little details. So it could be different for you, but the theme that I'm using is OceanWP theme, okay, because the settings might be different. All right, so let's talk about how we set up our product, okay? So I've got a few products on here already. I wanted to create a new product, and I just have a draft here ready to go, but basically it's going to be this product, okay? It's a protein shaker. It's got different colored lids, so we're going to do a variation on the lids. So we are actually going to be creating a variable product on WooCommerce. Now this is one of the problems I had too, was the variable products, creating the variations, and making sure that it shows up and it doesn't show up as out of stock or something like that. Okay, I've had issues with that, so I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so like I said, we already have a draft, so I'll click on this product here. I've pre-filled everything, okay, and that's pretty easy for you to do on your end. The important thing here is doing the product data for our variable product, okay? So if you do a simple product, it's pretty easy, straightforward. So I'll show you how to do it with a variable product, all right? So I've got the inventory, I've filled out the SKU, and this is just any number that you want, really. I don't really have any shipping details. I've got some linked products, so I've already put those in there. Now this is the important part, the attributes, okay? Now, let me just scroll back and show you what those attributes look like. Okay, let's say we'll click on, all right, this is the closest related product to that. So the attributes that I put in will show up here in the additional information. Okay, it gives you a product code, cap color, base color, decoration options, and pricing notes, and we are setting these all up. All right. Okay, so I've already put down the product code, right? You create a custom attribute just by pressing the add button, and then just entering whatever you want on there, okay? So, let me just, how do I remove this? Yeah, I'm just gonna remove this. Okay. So, for this product, right, I've got the product code. That doesn't vary, so I'm not gonna use it for variation, so that's unchecked. Base color stays the same, so they're all a clear base, as you can see here, so that's cool. Now the lid color changes, and I want this as one of the toggle options for my clients. So I'll write down all of the different options separated by this symbol here, okay? I don't know what this is called, but if you look at your keyboard, it's above your enter key on a standard keyboard. The decoration options also change, so I want them to select if they want a pad print or a screen print. So I've got that noted down, and I've got that checked as used for variations, okay? And lastly, the pricing notes. I've got some pricing notes on here, but I don't use that for variations, okay? Cool. Now this is very important. Anytime that you make a change on this tab, on the attributes tab, you want to save the attributes, okay? If you don't save it, it's not going to show up in our variations, okay? So we'll move on to creating our variations now. If you have a simple product and there's not a lot of variations, you can just add a variation manually, okay? So we could technically do this, add any lid color, any decoration options. But what I've found with this approach is that, say on the website side of things, when they add a color, right, and they add something, it shows up as out of stock. Say they wanted to add 50 of those and wanted to add 50 of the orange, like it won't show this. It'll just show that it's already on the list. So because it recognizes it as just one option or a singular product, okay? So what we actually want to do in this case is I want to create variations of all attributes, okay? Now this will create everything, do a matrix of everything. So it does a max of 50 per run, okay? If it exceeds 50, you might want to run it again just to make sure that you've covered all of the variations. But let's see, let's run this and see how many we've got. Okay, 20 variations were created. Okay, so it automatically does the matrix for you. Now, to check that there aren't any more, we're not missing any more attributes, we can run create variations again. Okay, and it should return 0. Yep, there we go. So that's it. It doesn't double it up, so you can run it as many times as you want, and it's not going to create duplicates. Okay, now we're not done yet, but I want to demonstrate what this looks like first. Okay, so we're going to save the draft, and we'll preview this, because here are some potential problems that you might run into. So for example, this one. Product is currently out of stock and unavailable. Okay, so why does it show that as unavailable? So the reason is, if you don't set a price in your variation, okay, so there's no price here, so it needs to be required. It's required, right? If we don't set a price, then it's not going to show up. But we have 20 here, and sometimes you can get more than 20, so it can be cumbersome to do individually, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bulk edit. So I'm going to set regular prices, okay, for everything. So this is just a catalog, so I'm just going to set the price as 0, okay? So now it's created pricing for everything. Let's save the draft and preview the changes. And hopefully that would set us up. Okay, so now it shows up. Now just to test this out, we'll test this out. Let's see, I want white, I want this, I want 50 of those, can add to quote. Let's see if it got bogged down. I want yellow, pad print. Okay, so it seems to be working, right? I want screen print. Okay, I can add to the quote, my quote. Yeah, and it shows up all on here. So that's great, okay? So it works now. Now, let's say it doesn't work for you, okay? Here are a few things that you can check for yourself, okay? You go to the Variations tab, all right? You want to toggle the status to enabled, okay? So you can try that. You can set inventory to stock and set the stock at like an infinite number, so 99999. Set the status to in stock. You can toggle manage stock a couple of times on and off. Play around with it. It should work for you, okay? Setting the price should work immediately for the product to show up, okay? And that's pretty much it. So what I'm gonna do is I will publish this product because I'm happy with that. So let's go and do that. Oh, one more thing before we leave here. So say for your variations you made a mistake, you want to change your attributes or whatever. You should delete all the variations, right? Clean it up. Otherwise, it's going to be a mad mess. Okay, so just when you change your attributes, okay, change whatever you need to change here, save the attributes, and when you go to variations, clean it all up, and then create variations from scratch again. And don't forget to set the price, otherwise it's going to show up as a out of stock item. Okay, cool. Hopefully that helped. The last thing that we're going to cover is on the theme side of things. Okay, so I'll just go to my theme section here. Again, I'm using the WP Ocean theme, so it could be different for you. Now, you're not going to see a lot of these differences if you don't have products set up yet. But in my case, since we have a few different products already, I'm just going to go to the store here. You can clean up the way that your site looks, okay? So you can change some of the settings, how many rows, how many products you want to display, and everything like that. So the way you do that on the OceanWP theme is you go to Woocommerce, okay? You go to the archives section. So the archives is this section here, so your storefront. Now, by default, what I had on here was that the price was showing, okay? So if the price were showing, this looks really ugly, you know, having zeros all over, just unprofessional, right? So if you have that and you want to clean it up, it's really easy. You just toggle the price thing here off. Okay, now it's much cleaner look. Looks awesome. Okay, and you can play around with the way things are laid out and all of that. I'll leave that up to you. The last thing I want to show you is the single product page. Okay, for the single product page, you might want to do some formatting as well. So let's just check the product that we just added. By default, okay, it's going to show with the price. Okay, so it's going to show something like this where you've got the price on there. Again, not a professional look, so the way to turn that off, again, go to the single product page tab, sorry, on the WooCommerce, turn it off, and bam, good to go. Now it looks more professional, you know, it's presenting well, so that's good. Let me see, one last thing. There are some things that you may not be able to change, like some of the widgets will show some of the prices still and everything like that, and it's hard to clean up. Now, I'm not an IT expert, so I'm just at a beginner level. So the way I approached that situation was just process of elimination, simplify, right? So if it's not working, just don't have it. Don't have it. I know it's nice to have, but if you can keep things very simple from the technology standpoint, your site should run pretty quick as well, and then it's gonna look nice and clean and streamlined. Okay, so hopefully this tutorial, I know it's a little bit long, but hopefully it helps somebody else out there. I was in this situation and it took me a long time to figure this out, so I hope this helps you. Again, if you can just, if you want to support, give me a shout out, just go to our, let's see, our Instagram page. Instagram, so we are at instagram.com/eventelves.au. This is my business. Just give me a follow or give me a like on Facebook. So same thing on our Facebook page. We are, let's see, eventelves.au. Give me a like on here and I would greatly appreciate it. That's all I ask, really. If you have any questions, write it up in the comments. I'd be happy to answer it. Alright guys, that's it. Take care.